Hi, friend, and welcome. I'm Anna Helman, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today, I want to introduce you to one of my friends. My friend, meet Stella. Do you know Stella? Do you know Wink of Stella in your crafting? I know many of you do, and if you do, I want you to stick around. I'm going to share several ways to use this, and it is very likely you have not seen a couple of the ways I'm going to be sharing. This adds a beautiful wink of glittery amazingness to your projects that doesn't come off, it doesn't make a mess, it stays right where you put it. But I want to share with you a couple of techniques for using this in an amazing way in your projects. Let's take a look. Not too long ago, I created a tutorial with 10 tips for creating really simple cards. So what I did, I pulled those same cards out and I'm just adding Stella to them today. I want to show you a few examples and then I'm going to show you how to actually do a few of these things on your cards. It's very simple to use, but on this one, I'm hoping you can see this. I have just added a little bit of that glittering amazingness to the tree branches. This one, I added it over top of the flowers. I was using a really interesting way of coloring in stamped images on this one. I added it to the flowers here. I have added that glittery amazingness to the blue flower. Just a couple more examples, and then we're going to get into actually several ways to use this here. This is just a die cut image that stayed attached to the card there itself, so I put some on the leaves. I love this one. I added it to the base, and it just created this amazing glittery decoration on that. And then here, I have actually used it to do splatters. So let's get in and let's take a look, and I'll show you a few things. First, I'll show you when your Stella is new, it is going to come with a black ring around the center. So you remove the cap, you unscrew the tip, you remove that, you screw this back together, you'll give it several shakes, get everything mixed up in there, and then there is an area here to push. You just want to squeeze that a few times repeatedly, and the paint will start to dispense down here in the tip. You don't want to press it too long or too many times. If you get too much paint coming out, you'll just have to get rid of the excess so that it will work as you want it to. So here's the one that I already have going, and we are going to do a few fun things with it. So we'll start with this card, and I'm just going to put a little bit over the flowers on this designer paper. It is so easy to use this, and it is so beautiful. It just adds a lot to your projects. So you can see that amazing shimmer. And on this one, the type of ink you use has an effect on what it is going to look like when you get done. So if you do not want this to make your ink bleed, what you'll need to do is use Memento ink. But as you can see here, I'm using it, most of the inks I use are water-based, which means they might bleed a little bit when I apply this, but it doesn't really bleed much. And what I find a lot of times is I actually like that effect. So we'll kind of play around with this on my next card as well. But I'll hold this up close so you can see. You may be able to tell or may not be able to tell. It bleeds just barely, just a teeny tiny bit. I find it doesn't really affect the stamped image much at all. It does maybe pick up just a hair of that blue color in the glitter paint, but I find that I really like how that looks. Now, here's what's fun. So I just use my clear, my plain Stella, the standard one, but we can get Stella in all the colors without any extra products. And here's how. So basically, I can water paint. If you have a water painter or a blender pen, we can use them the same way as we do Those, we can use this the same way we do as those tools. So I am just picking up a little bit of ink here. I have pressed these acrylic blocks against my ink pad to pick up a little bit of color. And now I can pick this up with my Stella brush and apply that color to my stamped image. So this was stamped with early espresso ink. It is water-based. It was not Memento ink, so it can bleed a little bit. And again, I'll show you up close when we get done so that you can see that color. And what I do, if I stamp with a color that I don't want it to, like I want to stamp with a color, I don't want it to bleed, I want to use my water-based ink, what I do is just kind of stay away from those edge lines some. So when you don't have any scrap paper handy, just grab some chipboard because that's what's laying here. So what I want to do here, I'm switching from green to my blue, and I just ran that on my scrap paper a few times till the green was no longer coming out, and then I can switch over to another color. So this is Lost Lagoon ink. The first one was a greeny apple green. I'll have links to the products I'm using in the video description below if you want to try out a Stella and you've never had one. Take a look at those links below where you can order. So you can get the darker depending on how much ink you pick up. You can get darker, you can blend into the lighter. And this just creates a really amazing effect, like water painting, but you have the addition of that beautiful glitter mixed in. And my favorite part of this glitter, you may have picked up on this earlier, my favorite part of this glitter is that it doesn't flake off on me or my hands or my face or my floor. It's less things to sweep up, right? Okay, we'll get this finished up. I want to show you up close because this is just beautiful. And then we have one more technique. Last, I have to show you how to make splatters because they're fantastic. Splatters are just so much fun on projects, adding that bit of texture and interest. And I must show you how to create them with this beautiful glitter. So here you can see we have that color and we have the amazing shine and glisten as well. Okay, I need to clean this out again so I don't have any more of that Lost Lagoon ink in there. And we are going to add some splatters. First thing I want to do is, because my card is finished and this is already here, I want to cover that up. Here's a scrap piece of paper. I'll just put that on. And I need something to protect my work surface. And we are ready to go. So I am going to squeeze, and as I squeeze, this will help a little bit if you're new. As I squeeze, you may start to see more paint coming down into the bottom. And this will eventually start to, I'll be able to see it starting to fill up. What I want to do is get enough on there, and I'm going to hold it straight up and down so that it doesn't, it's trying to drip, and I don't want it to drip. You don't want to get too much, but I can now see it starting to come down into my brush. Since I've squeezed several times, we'll wait until it's starting to look a little bit more full. I want to get it so that it's maybe thinking about dripping, maybe not completely ready to drip. It's pretty full here now. And I am going to hit this. I just hold my left hand down here. I'm going to hit the pen against my hand. And if I have enough paint on it, which I do, some of it is going to start coming out as splatters on my project. So after I do it a few times, I may have to squeeze another time or two to get some more out, but we'll do just a couple more splatters. And I just think these are amazing. So when you do this, you will have to set it aside and wait for it to dry a little bit. When you're just painting with it, it doesn't take long to dry at all. But when you make the splatters, you'll have to set it aside, let it dry for a little bit. And let's look at this up close. You see those amazing splatters. What a fun way to add some more glisten and some more interest to your projects. So I hope you can use these ideas on your projects in the future. So at the end of my videos, we always hang out and chat about something related to life. I try to offer something that might encourage someone today. I was talking to a young wife the other day whose marriage is struggling, and we had a really good conversation, like a 3-hour conversation, and it was really good. One of the things I shared with her that we all need to hear this, and we all need to remind ourselves of this. If you are walking through hard things today, one thing to remind yourself of is what you are struggling with now, whatever it is not going to last forever. So in this marriage where they're having normal marriage stuff, normal marriage things, but it's so, you know, I'm not trying to take away from the fact that it's not going well and it's really, really hard. But the things that she was saying are, it's normal marriage stuff. And one of the things I said to her was like, I was very relieved to hear that she wants to save her marriage. She's in it to make it better. She doesn't want out. They've got little kids. Nobody wants to live separate lives. The person you're living with that's causing issues right now, I just said it's not going to last forever. Like this is temporary. It's not going well. It's not going well for either one of you. It's temporary. What you're walking through today is not going to last forever. We have had our problems. Blending a family is super hard. It's with 4 children. Most of them that have been through their teenage years or in them right now. Like it's just hard. I moved from 3 hours away. There were a lot of things that were difficult about this. But what we have walked through is not what we're walking through now. What we're walking through now is not what we're going to be walking through in a few years. The same thing for you. It may look really hard and you may want to give up, but it is not going to last forever. And can you agree with me on this? The hardest and the toughest times often come shortly before the sun comes out and and the sun what am I saying? The clouds go away and the sun comes out and starts shining. I have seen that in my life lots of times actually. I talk about spiritual warfare occasionally. Might as well bring it up now. The enemy fights hardest when you are closest to overcoming whatever those challenges are. Because when you overcome those challenges, when you feel good, when you look good, when you have time and energy, you can do a lot of good in this world. The enemy's going to fight hard to keep you in those struggles. So, friend, whatever you're walking through today, it's not going to last forever. I appreciate you watching. I hope you'll be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to hand make with love.